Hello there. This is video number 17. Ooh, listen to my dog's nails on the floor. They need to be cut. This is chapter 4, section 5. And this is all about solving rational equations. And no matter how much you dislike this section, you should enjoy it because the next one is much worse. You won't like it at all. It's all word problems and things that you guys generally hate. So, what we're doing is we are going to be given an equation in rational form, which you know also means fractional, right? Rational is fractional. And our goal is going to be to solve that rational equation. So I'm going to give you a couple of steps here. Your first step, and then I'll do that split screen so we can see the steps. Your first step is going to be to factor your denominators if possible. Okay. Step number 2 is going to be to create equivalent fractions by finding a common denominator. Okay. Step 3 is going to be to move terms if needed. So you have an equation equal to 0. I don't know if I ever brought this up when we did quadratics. I probably should have. If you possibly can, well, no, you always can. You should keep, if you have a squared term, keep the squared term positive, always. I don't know if I said that earlier. I feel like I didn't, and I probably should have. But when you have something in ax squared plus bx plus c form equals 0, if this squared term is positive, factoring it, solving it, it just makes everything so much simpler. Even if you have a cubic, so you have like difference or sum of cubes, just do that. All right. After step 3, you're going to combine like terms if needed. And then step 5, you're going to eliminate the denominator with shown multiplication. I don't want you to just drop it and nobody knows where it went. Multiplication. All right, and then your 6th step is going to be to solve. And then your 7th step is going to be to check. And let me tell you what, compared to solving, checking is usually harder. Some of the numbers are gross, there's a lot of fractions involved, and this will really test your algebra skills. But if you're doing a worksheet, I'm going to want to see these checked. If you're doing varsity, so in a worksheet, you're going to have to check. And you'll get points for doing those checks. In varsity, it will tell you if you're right or wrong, so you do not have to check because it will. Okay? All right, so there's the steps for those. Now, let's show you what a problem is going to look like when we work it out. So I'm going to view dual page, turn that on. We're going to go to this page. All right, and here is our equation that we are going to solve. we're going to solve 3 over y minus 2 plus 4 over y plus 2 is equal to 2y over y squared minus 4. Okay, well, let's take a look at the steps over there. First step in green, factor denominators if possible. Can't do anything with the first one, rewrite it. Can't do anything with the second one, rewrite it. This guy up here is a difference of squares. You should recognize that right off the bat. We're going to factor that into y plus 2 and y minus 2. All right, now we've done step 1. Step 2, create equivalent fractions by finding a common denominator. All right, well, we have 2 binomials on the right-hand side. So, and we only have 1 on each of the others. So we are going to need to multiply the first one by the missing denominator, which is y plus 2. And that's going to be top and bottom, right? So you have both of those. The 4 is going to have to get multiplied by y minus 2. And so now I can combine my top. I have 3y plus 6. Oh, geez. Hold on. 3y plus 6 plus 4y minus 8 all over y minus 2, y plus 2. And that's equal to 2y over y plus 2, y minus 2. Alrighty, we can combine like terms in the numerator. And then at the same time, we'll do the purple step, move terms if needed, so you have an equation equal to 0. So we're going to take this whole thing and move it over to the other side by subtracting it. It has a common denominator. So right now, I'll do this longhand. I will write out every term in my numerator. 3y plus 6 plus 4. There should be a 4y. Good Lord. I write too small when it's in this page mode, and it is problematic. 4y minus 8, and I'm going to subtract off the 2y from the other side. They all have the denominator, y plus 2, y minus 2. Now it's equal to 0. Okay, I'm going to combine some like terms. So I have 3y and 4y is 7y, minus 2y is 5y. And then I have 6 minus 8 is minus 2. And that's over y plus 2, y minus 2 equals 0. All right, so that being said, notice okay, so step 4, blue, we did it. Combine like terms if needed. 5, eliminate the denominator by shown multiplication. So we're going to take this whole thing, the entire problem, and we're going to multiply by the current denominator, which is y plus 2, y minus 2. Now, if I multiply it on the right, it's 0, right? 0 times anything is 0. And on the left, that would cancel that, leaving us just 5y minus 2 equals 0. Now I'm going to move the 2. So 5y equals 2 and y equals 2/5. Okay, so that's the answer to that problem. We got number 6, that's solved. Now we're going to check it, and this is where your use of a calculator is going to come into play. So here was the original problem. 3 over y minus 2 plus 4 over y plus 2 is equal to 2y times y squared minus 4. Now, y is 2/5. So I'm going to plug that in. 3 over 2/5 minus 2 plus 4 over 2/5 plus 2 is equal to 2 times 2/5 over 2/5 squared minus 4. And some of this stuff you can just slap into a calculator and get some answers. I would be careful, though, and do it in little parts. And here's what I mean by that. I would do these denominators by themselves. So everything in a box, I would do individually and simplify some things. And when you do that, you'll have 3 over negative 8/5. And then plus 4 over 12/5 is equal to 4/5 over negative 96/25. Okay. If you guys do not know how to appropriately use your calculator, whichever one you might have, the red one, maybe you have your own graphing calculator, come see me and I can help you. But you should be able to do all of this just by pressing buttons. And now go through and simplify each of these individual fractions. So this would be, right, 3 divided by negative 8 ABC 5. And when you do that, you get a negative 15/8. And then the next one is going to be plus 5/3 equals negative 5/24 when you do this division. And then when you add these together or subtract them from each other, yes, you do end up getting a negative 5/24 equals a negative 5/24. And that checks. Okay, so this check, I'm expecting to see if you do any kind of worksheet. All right. Okay, let's do one more problem just so that you can get an idea after you've already seen one. So I'm going to try to pin this page right here so we can keep it. View, dual page, pin that page. All right, now I'm going to add a page. Hey, I love when that works out correctly. Okay, so we're going to solve 2/5 actually, plus 1 over x plus 1 is, plus, another plus, sorry, plus 3 over 5x plus 5 equals 0. All right, so this one's already set equal to 0. Remember that our first step, the green step over there, is to factor your denominators if possible. Well, I can't do anything with the first fraction. I can't do anything with the second fraction, so we're just going to rewrite those. But the third one has a GCF in it. So this is going to be 3 over 5 times x plus 1 equals 0. All right, now take a look at this. There's 2 parts in that denominator, right? There's a 5, which is already here, but it's missing from that middle fraction. And there's an x plus 1, which is here, but missing from the left-hand fraction. So we need to make sure we're multiplying fractions by the missing denominator. So we're going to take that first one. Step 2, create equivalent fractions by finding a common denominator. So I'll do this in that yellow step. The first one's going to get multiplied by x plus 1 because it's missing. The second one is going to get multiplied by a 5. And the third one has both, so we don't need to do anything to it. So now I'm going to distribute my numerator. So I have 2x plus 2 plus 5 plus 3 all over the 2 separate denominators, 5 times x plus 1, and it equals 0. And step 3, purple, move terms if needed so you have an equation equal to 0. Well, we already do, so we can skip that step. Step number 4, combine like terms if necessary, and we can do that. We have a 2x, and then we have 2 plus 5 plus 3, so that's 10. And then we have over 5 times x plus 1 equals 0. Alrighty. Now we can, number 5, eliminate the denominator by shown multiplication. So we're going to multiply this whole thing by the denominator. And on the right, we still have 0. The multiplication cancels your denominator. So you have 2x plus 10 equals 0. And then I move my 10. This is step number 6. We're just going to solve. So subtract off the 10. 2x equals negative 10 and x equals negative 5. All right, so now we've got an answer. Let's go through our check process here. Let me get more space on the page. Okay, so we're going to check, rewrite the original problem, which was 2/5 plus 1 over x plus 1 plus 3 over 5x plus 5 equals 0. And I'm going to let x equal negative 5. So I don't need to do anything to my first fraction. This one's going to be negative 5 plus 1 plus 3 over 5 times negative 5 plus 5 equals 0. So I'm going to bring down and simplify. So 2/5 plus negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. So this is going to be, I'm going to get rid of my plus sign here, minus 1/4. And then this is going to be a negative 25 plus 5. So that's a negative 20. So that's minus 3/20 equals 0. And if you stick these into a calculator, 2/5 minus 1/4 minus 3/20, you will get 0 equals 0. And that checks. All right. So you verified that your answer works and you don't need to do anything else. All right. Well, that's the nuts and bolts of solving rational expressions or equations. And the next step is actually applying them. That'll be fun. You'll love it. Promise. Not. Toodaloo for now.